Are we live? Are we live? Welcome to Friday night. So happy that you guys can be here tonight, seeing all the beautiful faces, all of your faces on the chat. Who's in the house? Bringing the music down. Oh, the DJ and me. Welcome to Friday Night Live. It was an honor to have our guests on the Rockhound podcast, Outlaw Rocks. I hope you guys enjoyed that show. If you didn't tune in for that, go check it out over there on the Rockhound podcast channel. I know that there was a little bit of confusion. Where do we go? What's going on? It's Friday night. So every other week we have the podcast, and hopefully it's over on the podcast channel. Which it was. we're getting that wrangled, and we usually have guests. Our guests did Fire Opal, and it was so cool. And we are over here now on the Friday Night Live with, of course, me, Karen, Ozone Fine Art Ventures, and we do have a guest this evening. But first, who is in the house? Annie! Annie's here. Like, you're the first thing that I see when I open. You've got some things coming your way fast and beautifully. Let me know when you get this. Hello. Bonjour. Allison is in the house. Soul Adventurous. The Cheryl is here. Brian, of course, is here. Boot, the Ken, the hot one, is here as well. Kyle. Kurt is here. Manny is here. Having the Opal envy to the max, right? Did you see me try to hold it together? I was absolutely falling apart with Opal madness. Jackie is here. Thank you so much for coming. Spot. Ken is here. He's doubling down this evening. And Diane is here. Thank you so much. And she said that she's been waiting for this all week. So have I. For sure. It's so good to see all y'all in one place. I mean, we meet up at the chats all week long, but this is the fun, like, get the weekend started party. So I'm glad that you're here. Blind Squirrel Rocks. The squirrel is here. Kirk is in the house. Thank you for the wood, Kirk. And yeah, go check that podcast out. Those opals are madness. And Randy is joining us. Thank you for coming. And all right, Ricky Rock County. Jesse has come on over here too. And this is the live. We're live, actually. And so it's good to have you here. I hope that you're feeling better, Jesse. I know that you were a bit under the weather, so I hope things are doing well. And we've got the bear, the Rocky Mountain Bear, the Rocky One is here as well. Lisa is here. The Journeys is here. I know that some of you are going kind of back and forth. Like there's some liveness going on Friday nights. And so swing in. Wait, hold on a second. What just happened there? I'm seeing yellow. Oh, Journeys. Thank you so much. You guys are so generous, and I love this community so much, and I almost never know what to do when, there's a super chat or you guys donate to the cause, but I do really appreciate it, for getting the platform. You guys know that this is like part of the Opal Fund. It's going to be burning a hole in my pocket to get some of those beautiful Oregon opals that we just saw on the podcast. I am hooked. I'll show you a little footage of what I did. Some of you didn't see over there on the podcast, and some of you did. So I'll go ahead and just show you that little bit of project footage that I did from those guys. Oh, Theo too. Theo, but you're gonna come too, so we'll go ahead and co-use that money for getting some opal. And I think that Jesse over there at Ricky Rock Hounding definitely needs some of this Oregon Fire opal too. It's so much fun to play with. And Manny, I mean, we're just gonna need to have to, fill a group kitty up and buy a bunch of rough for everybody. So thank you, Journeys. Josh, you are so sweet. And thank you so much, Theo, as well. You know that it all goes to a good place. Cheryl, did I say hi to you? Welcome. Thank you so much for coming. And I did say hi to Brian. This is where I start doubling down. And I don't know if I said hello to you already. And Theo, of course. Dude, we need to go on this trip and stat and pod. How can you see a podcast? It's like radio. Yeah, Kirk. I don't know. We've cast it in 3D. It's a 3D casting, kind of like a silver casting or a 3D printer. Oh my gosh, the bear Steinkern. Okay, so I set up this like super cool slideshow, and I didn't upload it. And what I wanted to do was to make sure that everybody got good and hydrated. So perhaps what I need to do is go and fetch that slideshow. And while I'm doing this, actually, I think it would be a fabulous idea if am I okay? I'm gonna invite my guests onto the stage. And did I say hi to Allison? See how I am? Is it last week? And the spicy Ken. All right. Yeah, I probably did. So we're going to invite our guest on, and then I'm going to do a little bit of background work, and I'm going to bring you the Steinkern reel. That was supposed to be the slideshow at the front of the show. So here, out of you guys there in the live stream, I'm randomly picking, and oh, it's the same pick again. How did that ever? Theo. Theo
Jazz
just bought
can.
us another, jazz hands for Theo buying us another cup of coffee for on the way down to the Fire Opals. And then oh my gosh, and Boot, the spicy Ken, also decided to super us up this evening. Thank you guys. Like I said, I never know what to do. But hey, you guys know Ken, the other Ken. I mean, you're kind of a spicy Ken too, aren't you? I mean,
I do eat some chili peppers from time to time. They're fun, you know.
so I think that you are the most frequented guest on the live.
Voted best guest of 2023.
It's true. And now best guest of 24 too, right? Okay, so he's the onlyest guest so far, but it's because I trust him so darn much. So,
Best in
welcome
show.
on. Oh, and Journeys, like you guys, I love it. Like the group kitty for Fire Opal is getting bigger. We got another one. Yeah. It's like you guys are doing dueling banjos or something, but with like super chats. I love it.
Those chunks were huge.
Yeah, they are big chunks. And so thank you, Josh, again. Josh, you're awesome. Thank you. Josh, actually, you're in the vicinity. You actually have access as far as your locality to the Fire Opals. I mean, maybe we need to do like a big group meetup or something like that. That would be super fun. It looks like New Zealand, Rocks Down Under is also here. So we've got like a fair representation of the other side of the world going on right now. I love that. So we've got Manny and we have Jesse in the house, and now we have New Zealand rocks. I mean, that's pretty cool. We got Australia and New Zealand in the bag, and we also have French Quebec in the house. And so, I mean, rookie. Dude, Jesse. Now, you need to save your money for later on in this year. Like, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, you know what I mean. And so, that's super sweet. Thank you so much, you guys. And here comes another one. Rocky. Like, let's just do this the whole podcast, right? Or the live stream. Thank you, you guys, from the bottom of my heart. Like I said, I never know what to say because I'm very full of gratitude, and then like I'm little taken aback. I just you guys are just so rad. Thank you so much. You know that it goes to all the right things, all the rock things. Theo saying, make it rain, y'all. Oh, the Anzacs. Have you, Ken, tried an Anzac cookie? Have you ever had one of those?
I have not had an Anzac cookie, but you had me a cookie.
Yeah, yeah. Now, I don't know if they're made the same all over the world, but we had these Anzac cookies that were these dipped cookies that were very big grain, like oats and raisins and nuts and things like that. And then they would dip them in like chocolate or something. And they were so
That
darn
sounds
good.
wonderful.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So you said Anzac, and as though I wasn't drooling enough over Opal, like I need to hydrate just because of that. And then now I've got like the Anzac thing on my head too. And so I know what Karen means, LOL.
Lisa.
Boot, thank you so much, Boot. Again, yes, we're all going into the rock fund. Everybody needs some fire opal. I'm just gonna just pitch it out into the crowd. I'll buy a big dirt bag. Like for a girl that likes to have words, I just didn't have any during that podcast because the opals were so good. I just I had like a paralysis of the mouth. I was totally speechless at times. John says, or we could all pitch in and have Josh go and do a group day dig for all of us, right? Yeah. Although I'm going. So I'll meet Josh down there and we'll dig hard for the all of you. Yeah. So Afia Rockamani says Anzac cookies rock. They totally do, right? A wet cookie, says Jackie. An Anzac cookie, Jackie. And I know that you're the Google queen, so go ahead and look that bad boy up. Oh man, Anzac cookies are the bomb, says Rookie. Yeah, I think as though there aren't enough things and reasons to go overseas and visit y'all, like just the cookies would be, enough for the plane ticket. Theo's like, dude, she's gonna be doing good by the end of this life. All right, Theo. I should be like offering things for this. Like you guys do the sales, like all right, who wants my microphone cover? Actually, it comes pre-chewed by dog. I should show you the other side. One of my dogs decided to get up on my chair and actually chew the microphone cover. Nothing is safe. Those of you who have dogs probably understand that. Anthrax cookies, says Lisa. That's not when you're ordering, you want to like cross, and make the mistake of like the Anzac, I meant not the anthrax cookies. Rolled oats and honey are the OG recipe. Yeah. Like, so big oats. I remember the big grains. And then, yeah, there's they're usually pretty soft. And so that must be the honey. And then the ones that we had here, I mean, America, we probably did it wrong, but they added like raisins and nuts, and I'm salivating. Oh my gosh. Okay.
May I suggest cranberries?
Get your cranberries. Oh my gosh. So the like one of the places that I used to go to had some of them dipped in dark chocolate, some of them dipped in white chocolate, and then of course the milk chocolate. And can you imagine like the cranberries with like, either the white chocolate or the dark chocolate would be so good. So good.
So good.
So good. I'm bringing the room down. Okay.
You
Oh
come
my
in with
gosh.
power cord. Wow.
um, uh, so Kyle, thank you. Legendary lapidary friend Kyle has kept the good train of goodwill going with yet another super. Thank you so much. Like we're never gonna go from here. Like I said, we're just gonna get high centered on this. Okay, so I'm gonna go fetch the hydration reel. And Ken, do you want to go ahead and tell us what you're going to share with us this evening?
Well, it's kind of funny. You got the Steinkern thing. I got some of that later on. But I went out the other day and picked up a bunch of fossil shells, and I was out with the UV light and just picking them up by the really bright ones. And so I didn't realize what I picked up. I thought one deformed one, but things come in pairs, apparently. So when I went to go get it and was digging through the other ones just before I came on camera, I found another one with just a little tiny bit of the same deformation, and I've never seen any of them. And I've got hundreds of them.
Wild.
And so I got that, and then, yeah, stuff. Steinkerns.
Wow.
Everybody have their mug ready. She's got Steinkerns. I've got Steinkerns. That's a double fister right there.
So yeah, that's lots of hydration. So you guys know that like every single time we say Steinkern, you're supposed to drink, right? And this doesn't have to be a drinking game. You can be drinking your chai. We're just going to make sure that you're good and hydrated by the end of this thing.
Water.
So, yeah. My mighty moose is out running around in the like the fauna with other mug forest creatures. And so we're doing the stag this evening. Cheers to you and yours. Thank you so much for being here. Steinkern to you. Yeah, I still have to look for that file. But yeah, let's get started with some of your stuff there, Ken. And I'm gonna catch up on the chat while you get us going on your Steinkerny shows. Well, actually, this deformation thing. Let's hear more about this because you guys saw it in the thumbnail, and you're probably wondering what the heck kind of creature was hanging out with me in the thumbnail.
I'm waiting.
Yeah, you got
I thought
it.
you were going to pop the screen up.
Oh no! Oh, is that what I'm doing? There we go.
Yeah, I can't do that.
we have screenage. Okay, so what are we looking at here?
Okay, if you remember, actually pull me up full for just a second here.
As far as you want you back.
Oh,
wait, no.
Then we'll go in
Okay,
just a
we
second.
want
Sorry,
this down.
There we go.
And you want you
there I am.
big.
Look, hey,
and
there's
I'm
me.
trying to. Okay, do
That's
you want?
good.
No, we want you bigger, right? Like, let's see. Let's do this.
Ooh, no. Hey.
Hey, whoop.
All right. If you remember these ones that I sent you,
Oh yeah,
my favorites and I tried UV over here. It just doesn't work well. These are the ones, and they're normally round like that. I was picking up the really bright ones the other night and just threw them in a box and brought them home, put them in soapy water, and let them soak till today. And the second one I pulled out looked like that screen.
what? Oh, and this is my cue.
Practice would have helped.
It looks like this screen. And go.
No.
And so you guys saw what he was showing, very neat concentric circles. So what do we got here? This is not that.
Yeah, you can see it started off nice, neat concentric circles. You can see my cursor, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, good. And
Isn't
then
that
somewhere
cool?
about here, something happened. And all of a sudden it's flat and they're all ridges and ingrown and they've got bumps and humps and they normally never look like that. That's the first one I'd ever seen until I went back and got the rest of the bucket today and found another one with just a little tiny bit of it in one spot. I'll
Wild.
show it again later, but it's only in one little spot, but that's it.
Wow.
And yeah, there's a better kind of a thing
It's
or
it's
angle on it.
kind of like, when you're baking something and it just doesn't go quite right, like, and you guys know how the shells are being created on these, um, whomever is creating the shell, uh, as they're like a tree, if they hit an illness or maybe a lack of food or something like that, you would imagine that perhaps it had some effect on the shell?
I had two guesses. Number one was some sort of disease. The second one was, what if one was moving along, got wedged into a coral reef, and had plenty of food sources there nearby because these things eat fish, and they send out little spears and catch a fish and bring it in and eat the fish,
Oh,
and had
wow.
enough room to keep growing for that. And it actually, I got a picture coming up in a little bit here. The lip came fully around to right about there. The lips are always broken on these things. And
Uh-huh.
so it would have came out to about there. So it had 3 layers of growth, however long that takes. And next to a normal one, you can see they're all like that until I found this one.
Wow. Josh, by the way, thank you so much for the another one. Thank you for the super buddy. And so, what I'm wondering, like, okay, so you think that maybe it was trapped, like it couldn't, it might have like had to, so we've also seen when a tree will grow around like a rock, or even in present
Fence
times, like it'll
posts. Yeah.
literally, yeah, grow around something, metal, like a lawn fixture or something like that. And so you're thinking that maybe that's what happened here.
I mean, pure guess. I have no idea, but
Wow.
either sick or something. Bonsai shell,
Yeah,
you know?
right? Yeah, like some kind of stressor made this happen. Hey, Theo,
Yeah.
have you ever seen like a weird sort of melty shell like this? I would want to. Oh, silverbacks in the house too. Wow. Okay, so more Aussies. It's like we said the Anzac, and like the the Aussies came a running. That's
Oi, oi,
awesome.
oi.
Yeah, right. Um, so if that's not fatal, it just keeps growing over, but the shell will get all wonky as it grows over the damaged nacre. Oh, interesting, Theo. So that would be a yes on Theo knowing about that.
Yeah. And he commented up above, actually, mutations are relatively common in a lot of Florida species. Usually the mutations are as a result of damage in the shell.
That's
Okay.
why we have 4 eyes on the chat today, you guys. I realized, while reviewing some of the post lives, it's so hard to keep up with you guys, and you say brilliant things, and I just wanna, I'm listening to it later and I wanna comment, and I'm like, "Ah, I can't believe I missed that thing." And so, Theo says, "Cones and olives tend to mutate more than other species." That's interesting. And, contracted shell out of the lowest bidder substandard concrete, right? That's like, I always think of NASA, like, how does it feel to be sitting on the rocket that was made by the lowest bidder, you know? Bonsai, says Rocky. Yeah.
Hey, my cousin cleans those rockets.
Oh, and thank you, Theo, with the all caps. I just told you. Yeah, I was a little behind in the chat. It was like one eye dragging behind the other. Like it was like a little bit of, an Igor shuffle. Like I was just trying to drag it along. And Jesse says, haha, oi, oi, oi. Nice. Um, yeah, and we now they all are doing it. Manny, Jesse, and New Zealand rocks. Like
Yeah, I'm
everybody
watching that go by.
in the
I'm
voice.
being
Yeah.
good about looking at the chat. It's
Thank you.
tough.
Thank you. And I know, right? It like rambles along and you look at something or you like tarry too long on somebody's and yeah, it's like there's a whole lifetime has gone by. There's been, life and death and struggle and triumph and yeah, you've missed it all. It's terrible. But yeah, Silverback, there's some folks in the house over on your side of the beaches for sure. Bart is in the house. Good to see you, Bart. Thank you for coming. And hit those likes, people. Thank you so much. And it looks like we're going to get more juicy Shelly goodness. Oh, so I love that we kind of, in a way, we've cracked the mystery code on the melting shell. I like that.
Oops. What did I just do?
I don't know, but I like it. That looks familiar.
It does, doesn't it?
Yes.
I hit next by accident. It
I do that all
does.
the time.
You weren't supposed to see that yet.
Drink. Steinkern. Yeah, we're doing it. Oh my gosh. You've got all sorts of stuff, all sorts of goodies, don't you?
Wait, did my menu come up?
Yes, it did.
Oh, that's weird because that's two different windows.
Wow. You've got
That's
superpowers.
really weird. That's really weird. Okay. Well, yeah, there's that.
Jesse, yeah, cheers with whatever it is that you have available. Yeah, we won't tell what's in your mug.
Actually, aren't those guys at breakfast right now?
Yeah, we're not gonna maybe brunch, but it's a
Saturday morning?
weekend. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Saturday morning.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Probably
Cheers,
coffee.
Randy. All right. So what's
All
next?
right.
What are we looking at?
Okay. Well, I wanted to do a little thing on Steinkerns just so people can see what the difference is between Steinkern and a fossil shell. I know a lot of people seem to get the two of them mixed up a little bit. So let's talk Steinkerns.
But
These are some fun ones that I sent to Karen, and they're a great representation of a couple different types. Steinkerns are the imprints of shells. They're not actually the shells themselves, and they can form in a couple different ways. They can get buried in sediment and limestone and then encapsulated in that, and they dissolve themselves, leaving behind a perfect outline of what they used to look like inside that limestone and or whatever other rock you guys have out there on the West Coast with the basalt, which is just so weird for me with Steinkerns.
so weird.
It's so weird.
Whatever, yeah, it's making a trace into.
Yeah, and then new minerals come into it and fill it up, and you're left with a cast of what used to be. And that's what you see on either side of this pair or this trio. The middle one is where the shell itself got filled up with sediment, and the shell went away for some reason. It either was in a slightly acidic environment and the shell dissolved, or they're brittle and they break and the Steinkern can be left over. But that's pretty much what a Steinkern is. It's not actually a fossilized shell. It's the ghost image of one way or another. Now this is a little piece of host rock I found that actually shows here is the image of where a shell was. Had it been complete and fallen out, there would have been a Steinkern. And over here, you can see where one got left behind, and had that filled in, you'd have gotten one of the ones with the actual imprint. This is the surface of the inside of the shell. That's the surface of the outside of the shell.
Excellent. Yeah, so we've got the difference between a Steinkern and a trace fossil, basically.
Yep.
Very
the
cool.
Steinkerns, like, go back to here, a cat's paw and this little bivalve, those formed inside of an empty space where a shell used to be, because they've got all the ridges, and you can actually see. Can I do this?
Oh, he can.
I can.
And
on
he will.
This one, there's the ridges from the outside of the shell itself right there. Those shells all have those ridges right along that. And so that's where one dissolved out of the host rock, and here's where one got filled in.
Good night, Bob. Feel better, buddy.
Bye, Bob. Oh, yeah, that's right. I had it soloed out. Because
Nice.
there you can see all the ridges from where that's what the outside of the shell used to be. But now, something went and filled it in, and you can see where it was. And it's kind of like where Jeff is talking about prepping trilobites. There's that little thin gap in between them and the rock. So they'll just fall right out because there was that little bit of space. Makes it happy. And here's a great one, that olive, because this orange part here, that's all Steinkern. But a little bit right there is still some natural shell left in there, and you can see the difference. Here's the host rock where it got trapped in. It started breaking out, it looks like, on this one. And there's the shell that was in, or the imprint of what was inside. That's all calcite.
That looks really familiar.
It does. I
Is
think you
that
saw
the
this
one I
one.
have?
That is the one you have. Those are
Yeah,
your
I
fingers.
I think like because I've looked at it under the microscope, I probably know every single bit of its geography. At this point,
That's
I'm
a
like,
fun
wow.
one.
Yeah, it is a really, really good rock, and it's
It's
got some
got those like,
amazing multicolor matrix. I need
yeah,
to get the bigger lens out to look at that.
that, and there's almost like bubbles of calcite came out the butt end of it, and they're almost botryoidals, which
Yeah.
maybe they are. That's a really weird covering on that. It's like it got a secondary growth over it almost.
Yeah, yeah, and something super fun was happening, like there was a, hot mineral bath or something like that going on. Yeah,
I
that
almost
is,
wonder if like the animal itself just kind of squirted out there and just froze in place. No, it didn't.
ooh, oh, yeah, maybe it's a soft tissue, cast.
Yeah,
That would be
that would be
really
cool.
neat. Wouldn't that be
Yeah,
cool? We'll just, yeah, use our
I don't know
imagination
if
and
that.
call it good.
Yeah,
I like that. Yeah, and this one's so pretty.
yeah,
Look at
and this
those.
is yeah. This one formed inside, and I'm pointing at the screen. I got to stop doing that. Formed another one. This actually formed inside of a shell. This wasn't a cavity like those last ones were. This was the inside of one of those shells right there.
Yeah. Wow.
And then something happened where it got trapped somewhere, and then all the calcite little crystals grew on top of it after the shell went out. And that's probably when the secondary mineral replacement started, because you can see that it's got the more sedimentary stuff there, and it switches over to calcite 3/4 of the way through the shell. And then the crystals grew on it. But
Yeah, it's
yeah,
so interesting, like, even with the, the rocks where we find crystals within the rocks, they need room to breathe. So even if they're happening under the Earth's crust, you need room. And so if you see crystals on like a Steinkern, like you're showing us, that had to have some room to breathe. Like that had
yep,
to be uncovered by then.
yeah. Or another one that's a possibility with those is that was one of the encapsulated ones. That Steinkern formed inside the shell. Something dissolved the shell while it was still in the pocket, and then those crystals grew inside, had just enough room, that little gap between them and the host rock, to grow in there, and then it fell out later on.
Yeah, right
Yeah.
on. I gotta show you this. Thank you, rookie, Jesse. So that's for you, Ken.
I didn't see it.
I've not met you yet, Ken, but hi. Thanks for the knowledge sharing, mate. And so,
Oh,
yeah,
I didn't know.
people in the chat are saying wow and ooh and cool and thanks for the good explanation. Cynthia is in the house, and I saw her comment go by a bit ago, and she was saying, great explanation. So definitely continue on, but they're digging it.
I did see that one actually. I do
Okay,
look over
cool.
it. The problem is you look at the moving thing, and that's on this side of the screen.
Right, right. And like I
Yeah,
said, if we only had, like the eyes that like just could one eye could be on
chameleon.
one thing and the other,
Yeah,
yeah, the chameleon eyes.
I want
Exactly.
those
That's
shrimp
what we
eyes.
need.
I
And
want those shrimp eyes.
and the shrimp eyes. Jesse and Theo, I'm throwing down the gauntlet, do the live. I think that both of you would be so much fun to do a live hangout together. So please make
They
that
should.
happen.
They should.
Yeah, I'll help any way that I know how. I'll mod or whatever you need done. And so at any rate, what are we looking at here? Just another a gorgeous shot of the
Yeah,
same.
that's the top end of that one right there.
Hmm.
That's why a lot of times, like yours, it's almost a little hollow at the top because that is just so thin a little layer to fill in. There's nothing's gonna live. I've got some like I've got a paper fig that's beautiful, except it's got a big crater down the middle of it.
Oh,
But it's great. And it's up there. I grab that one.
yeah. Well, and what's interesting is a lot of times in my world, and I actually just found out in Theo's world because one of the things that I was going to show were a Montana death plate that has some Steinkerns on it. That in Theo's world, they will permineralize if they're going to get filled in with calcite or agate or zeolite or whatever it is that it's going to take over. They start at the crown like a huge number of times, and I see that all the time when I'm rock hounding out here. Like something will be one of those calith- Calicantharis carlsoni shells that we have so well yeah, thank you, preserved. uh the last, say, I don't know, 1/5 of that crown will be preserved in agate, just over and over and over again. It's so weird. And
See,
sure enough, one of Theo's has that.
weird.
Do
And the
you
ones
see
I
that in the calcite?
the ones that I see that are two different minerals tend to be side to side. And I think I actually sent you one at least that one side of it's sediment. You can see it's white with little black flecks, and then on the other side of it, it's calcite. And I always
So it
figured
was
it was
lying
because
on its side, it filled up.
yeah, it
Like
was in
yeah.
bottom of it in water, top of it out, maybe.
Yeah, my theory would be that that whatever the event that, buried the death plate brought the sediment in, but it didn't fill it, and then the silicates were able to leach.
Did you see the
My
death?
theory.
eh, Yeah, it was a long time ago. I wasn't there.
Right. That's what I tell everybody too. We don't know exactly. We can have like lots of scientific theorems, but that's about as good as we get.
Yeah,
Journeys,
it just
dude.
he just keeps going.
I know, I love it. Live, baby.
Yep.
That's for you, Josh. Thank you. So what were you about to say? You were about to say something
Oh,
gravid and intelligent.
yeah, right.
No pressure.
No, I was going to ask if you saw the death plates that Jethro found up in Ohio and
I
dropped off a couple of with me. Those are great. And then he found that
Yeah,
massive crinoid. I don't think he knew what he found.
dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was just like a foot of
Crazy,
stem.
right?
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that that Rufo actually was saying like, dude, that's like a museum piece.
Yeah.
You crazy
Yeah, I've never
dude.
seen
Like
one
you're
that long.
finding some really good
Yeah,
stuff.
he's like, yeah. I just pulled over, parked here for 5 minutes, got out of the truck, came back, and I got
Road
20
cut,
pounds of
right?
these.
Was it the
Yeah.
road cut or the
Yeah,
yard?
road
Because
cut.
I was like, dude,
That
I
one was
want
road
your
cut.
yeah. Because he was talking about hitting like his like there's a yard where they keep overflow gravel or something for his work, and yeah, he can
Yeah.
hit that too, and it's like amazing stuff.
Yeah, that's yeah, this right there. Boom.
Boom.
And
Nice.
I've got one on the shelf next to me that's like a foot and a half long. And it's just all covered in brachiopods. It's gorgeous. I'm gonna do it a quick little acid dip. I've got a couple little chunks of one
Ooh,
that
yeah.
came off. So I'll test on those, see what happens,
Playing in
see
the
how it comes.
acid.
Dive right in.
Jesse is having a testimonial about being a true crime podcast rock cutter. I love it. And I think that yep, there's some other people that are also having a testimonial, Manny as well.
I liked the was it Welcome to Night Vale? Something like that. Mostly silent, partly stars. I don't recall the full name of it. It was fun.
And
It's kind of
I
Twilight Zone.
That's great. And yeah, Jesse's saying his favorite is True Crime Garage. So
Haven't seen them.
Right? Like, I mean, there's like spawning tentacles of these things that you can go down rabbit holes for long periods of time, which is great because if you're doing studio stuff, if you're rock cutting or whatever, I mean, I basically I cut that whole fire opal that I showed on the podcast, binge watching their videos, and I
Nice.
didn't know that that opal was from them. Like it was
That's a
just
great
so
surprise.
cool. Yeah, and then when I found out from Kyle, he's like, "Let me check with my supplier," and he's like, "Oh my gosh, that's from Outlaw Rocks." I was like, "Oh, amazing." I mean, it's just like such pretty stuff. So sorry, you
Oh,
guys understand and accept tangents. Like there should be like a disclaimer at the beginning of all of our live streams and podcasts of
I
the
think your
the
logo
rock
should just be a
hunters.
circle with a line on it,
Yeah. Is there an icon for tangent? Like, is it just like the mouth open? Or with like a bubble, like a speech bubble? I think I might have to make that.
Like it. I like it. All right.
Oh my gosh. And Manny was talking about cutting to the MST 3K marathons. Yay!
Nice.
You know what?
I'd be laughing too hard sometimes. You couldn't cut. It's like, oh, there goes that rock over the neighbor's roof.
Oh, totally. It's true. And now that they have the forever-a-thons, like it's just that's my favorite jam for faceting. For some reason, it works so good for me. And the fact that they did that, it's like they did it just for me. But then off your rocket, you got to be checking out the riff tracks too. Like it's all so, so, so good. And so, yeah, keep it going. That's the good chi for cutting for sure.
It is.
All right. So go ahead, Ken.
Oh, I was going to ask if you recognize the shell or not.
Yeah, that looks a whole lot like one of our Calicantharus carlsonis, actually.
It is. I just like hearing you say the word.
Say it again, Steinkern, Steinkern. She won't be able to see it by the end of the
Yeah,
podcast, you guys.
this is
Yep.
one that you sent me,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah,
pulled
and
this
that
up.
looks like I prepped it too, huh?
It is. Yeah, you prepped it. You sent that to me just like this. It's got a place of honor. It's a great little
Aw.
shell. It is.
Not like, oh, I should have asked it as a question. Is this a Steinkern or not a Steinkern if everybody's paying attention? But
Ooh,
I don't know if
it's
they
almost a
are.
trick question.
Right?
Both.
Yeah, right?
Kind of. It'd be a Steinkern if it wasn't in the shell. But I pulled this so you can see that you got the different chambers, and that would be full all the way around, and that's where your spiralies come in, like that.
Yep.
And that's another one that I gave you. I've got some sitting around. I've actually got one of those right there. I didn't feel like taking pictures, or at least not as many, so I can take screenshots.
No, it makes so much sense to just, yeah, do the ones that I
Yep,
was like,
it worked.
I was gonna say, dude, do you wear nail polish?
I
Whose
don't like to
nail
brag.
polish is that? I like the color. Yeah, I was gonna
I
ask.
strut through Florida with pink nail polish. Goes over well.
Yeah. But you might want to trim up that left thumb one. Yeah,
So you get
awesome.
traction.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I have lapidary fingernails. Like sometimes, I'll catch myself at the bank or something like that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, the horror. Like I've got these ragged, weird angled fingernails from like, pushing a stone on the flat lap or something like that. And they're like all angled off at the same angle. And they're just ridiculous. Yeah.
So lapidary pedicure.
Big time. Big time.
Manicure, sorry.
Pedicure. I'm picturing that as well as far as the
I
lapidary
could do it.
genius. Oh, that reminds me. Y'all, Justin Prince's shirt. Trust your lapidary. You guys need to he's got some for sale. Can you see that? Am I in the right place? Here we go. Trust your lapidary. I just got it. I'm so excited.
That's sweet.
Yeah, Justin Prim is he's got the merch, and I guess he didn't sell all of his shirts at the Tucson show, and so he was trying to get rid of them before I think he was going back overseas. And so make his load lighter. Oh my
Just send them to
gosh,
Kyle.
Chris is
Have
here.
Kyle sell them.
Right? Yeah, I know. Actually, I should tell him to do that. I was like, I'll take one off of your hands for sure.
The old
Um,
Rockhounds Clearinghouse.
yeah. So Chris is in the house and Mike is in the house. Thank you guys for joining so much. And Theo
Kyle's in the
was
house
talking about,
laughing.
dude, my nails look mangled in every video, right? Yeah, like I've just stopped being conscious about it. I refuse to be sentient about that. So, all right. I bet you we have more. We have next.
Yeah. Well, this one I had said it was a top shell, was my thought when I sent it to you. It was my guess. Then I realized I was wrong. This one I put up. If you watch Jeff's video of the unboxing or the stuff I sent him, this is one of the ones that goes from this color to bubblegum pink when you put it under UV.
Oh
Everything
wow.
I've seen in the green spectrum for a lot of the shells turns red when you put the UV on it. It's just neat.
Wow. Well, and Theo, isn't this the one that fries down to like being amazingly chrome looking when you put it in the muriatic? Am I right? And Ken, have you tried it?
Yep. Yeah. I haven't done it in muriatic, but just polished down. They're pure nacre underneath that. I've got
Oh, it's
two that
so
are probably
pretty.
4 inches tall that are the bottom side. These can also be pink on top of
Wow.
being the green, just regular. They come out red too. Um,
Yeah, he sent me
I've
one
got
that
two
was
red
prepped.
ones.
Oh,
Yeah, I've got two red ones where the bottom band is still a little bit of red, then it's just nacre all the way up, and they're like 4 inches tall.
that's so insane. Yeah, I would wear that as a hat and be proud. And Kyle says he's the the rock accessory peddler, and I think you're supposed to say that like the what's that dude from Texas? Help me. Um, oh, Kyle does the accent perfectly.
Oh, McConaughey.
Oh
Wow.
no, not Matthew McConaughey. Although I bet you he could do McConaughey
Oh,
perfectly.
no, yeah.
It's
Wilson.
uh he sells propane and propane accessories. That guy.
Can't kill.
Hank Hill, thank you. Oh my gosh. Okay, tangent
We're sitting
over.
here running through the imitations that, the impressions that Kyle does. We're going to be here for a while.
I know, he's very good.
So,
Yep,
so
I
I
tell you
thought,
what.
tell you what, boy, thought that was that. Now I'm pretty sure it's because of the curved top. Top shells have a flat roof, and this has got a curved roof,
Oh
a
yeah.
curved top. These have a flat roof. These, the turbine
Oh.
shell, has the round roof. So now I'm pretty sure that one I sent you, and the whole reason I put it up here, this is what I think it is a turbine shell. Can't tell the species.
Oh,
Yeah. And this
great.
one turns red under the UV too.
Nice. That's cool solving. And oftentimes that's what it takes. It's so hard to even find the research on a lot of this stuff. It's hard to be able to make IDs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even if it's
Especially
like if it's something that
something
still
like that.
exists. Yeah.
Yeah. That's when I first found that, I was thinking maybe like just the very top of a great big, like say a lightning whelk. Obviously not because it's going the
I
wrong
think
way.
you wrote it in the note as
Yeah,
such.
that was my
Yeah.
thought. Then I realized, okay, no, that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing there because I was looking at one that I've got. Like, okay, well, it's got to be a top shelf. Then I realized it was round, not flat, and so here we are.
Nice. Well, that's a good bit of sleuthing. And Jackie says cups. I count my coffee in pots per day.
I used to. Oh,
I like your style, Jackie. That is exactly where I'm at.
I
And you
can't do
said,
that anymore.
oh, yeah. You've found the inner mellow.
No, I'm always tired. I just want to be able to sleep at night.
Yeah, yeah, there's that part. But yeah, for some reason I don't have trouble sleeping. And I have trouble like ramping her up. So it's like coffee, 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 coffee. And then as soon as like I stop the drip, it's like no problem. No
It's a
problem.
wide board drip.
Yeah, seriously.
All
Just
right.
have to take that thing along with me on my jogs.
Do you think people like shells yet?
Stop not liking shells.
You
TM
could
for
kind of
you.
overturn it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just wanted a couple. This is one of I've got. This is just a regular clamshell, and actually Jeff finds a lot of these. This is one that formed inside of something like that. That was just
Oh
the
yeah.
sediment that filled up a shell. That one's a lot bigger than the one I just showed.
Yeah, like
And
that.
then the shell went away, and that sediment right there is left, and that's calcite. It's so soft. They don't last for long once they get out, especially if there's anything like running water or traffic. Which I've seen one get run over before. No,
Oh, my heart.
I
Oh.
could see it in the dirt road. I'm like, oh, here we go. And this guy comes driving down, dust. I think it was on
Yeah.
top of something else, like a big piece of like just coral chunk. So I just ground it right down. Like,
Oh,
no.
that's crazy. You guys are killing me. Like last night, the opal people were talking about how they park on a bunch of opal. Like, and the guy said, you'll get out of the car, or the truck if you are mining with us. And it's like they have to drag you to the mine because you get out the car and you want to start like rock hounding right away because of all the opals that are just right there on the ground. And then, I've seen Wild Kyle, and you're talking about how these roads will be there, and like the fossils are just right there in the road.
Yep.
Oh
Jeff's
man.
finding them in truck stops.
And truck stops.
And truck stops. Yep. It's the ground is littered with fossils here. It really is.
Wow. Cheers,
Somebody found
cheers,
an arrowhead in
Jesse.
their yard today. It was
No
like three, four
way.
houses. Yeah, 3 or 4 streets down, I think, from
Oh
me. They
my
put it up on. We were
god.
in a little community. They put up, look what we found in the yard, and it's almost the whole point. There's a little bit's missing off the tip. I don't know anything about identifying them, but yeah,
Wow.
found it in their yard today.
Thanks for joining us, Jesse. We'll see you. Cheers to you. Till the next time.
Later, mate.
How crazy. I mean, yeah, to be able to find artifacts and amazing fossils in your yard, that's so crazy. It's fantastic.
It's a sad thing is like, if I can go like 50, 60 yards offshore and go down, everything is just laying there. I watch divers come out with mammoth teeth and megalodon teeth in the same bag. Oh, jeez.
That's so crazy. Those mammoth teeth remind me of the souls of like waffle stompers, you
Yeah,
know?
they're really cool.
Like how somebody saw that in the very beginning and went like, "Whoa, this is really something special." And then to
Dragons.
find out what they are. Yeah.
Yeah, way back they thought they were dragons and giants. I mean, the ancient elephant skulls, they got the big hole where the trunk came out. That's where Cyclops came from.
Right.
They found the mammoth
Wow.
skulls where they didn't have actual elephants. And so those were Cyclops.
Oh, that's brilliant. Oh my gosh. Yeah, but that is like y'all have been to your natural museums of history and all that kind of stuff. And uh, seeing those skulls, there are several skulls that are somewhat like befuddling. You it's hard to know what they are when you first look at them unless you know. Or they're terrifying. Like hog skulls. Like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, you have no idea. Like you think of like Charlotte's Web and like Sweet Little Piggy. Uh-uh.
The other Wilbur.
Yeah. He's very vicious. Gnashing teeth.
Long curly tail.
Yeah. Get you. All right. So what are we looking at here?
This is just a double bivalve I got to show that this is how they fill up. Is they'll be just the whole shell sits there and fills up and gets that imprint, and I kind of don't remember what's coming next.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah,
Yeah, awesome.
yeah, and then that shell goes away, and what you're left with was that imprint. And here it is. I know why I did this. And sometimes they still get the natural shape.
Yeah. Yeah, and that is so cool to find. And sometimes people like, they're really thrown for a loop. Like, what did I just find? Because the Anadara look like this when they're still clasped together, especially if it's a Steinkern, and they look like a heart because they have like a high enough, dome to their
What the heck?
their roof. So, oh, the Ontario Rockhound is here with us. Good to see you. And he says
Hey, hey,
Projectile Points website is a good source to start with.
IDing points. Yep.
Yeah. Thank you for having better eyes than I do.
Very cool. And this one right here was the shell itself. This is not actually a Steinkern, rested on top of sediment, half a Steinkern, like in that pink plate I showed you at the beginning where there were just the imprints left. It just happened to break out, so we got left with that one little imprint or the top
Gotcha.
half, which I thought was neat. There's the other
Very
side of it.
cool. Oh, yeah.
Yep. Oh, there we go. That's my break.
Hello. So
Oh,
pretty.
that's the end of the Steinkerns right there. That's it.
It's not. No.
It is.
It's
I got
never the end of the Steinkerns. No, that
two.
was
Yeah, I got two rocks to show in pictures, and then a very surprised rock after that.
very cool. All right. So hopefully you guys all enjoyed. Thank you so much, Ken, for the Steinkern education, because that truly
And now you
was.
know.
And now we know. That
Very
gesture.
cool.
Yeah, very much. And so I'm wondering if I play the Steinkern thing that I did, um, that oh wait, it's over here. If it's gonna get rid of us, it might really quick, but it's a quick little slideshow. Let's have a
Cool.
look. Yep, there it is. Okay, so first of all, this is not a Steinkern. This is coral, but you passed the test. So here's a fossil shell Steinkern from Montana that Theo sent me in a death plate. And here's one with some uh, covering calcite, and you can see that
Oh,
in the
that's cool.
UV. And then we have a bigger one, and it's Steinkerning out. That is actually the UV at the tip of that same shell. And so we have some interesting mineralization there, another Steinkern. And this is interesting. It's pointing towards you and it's glowing. And so we're just seeing the imprint of what was filled in from the fossil shell there. And so I wanted to include that for you guys, just because so many people are talking to me and they're sending me, questions and uh, queries about what we find here on the coast, especially after the last uh, live stream that we did about the foraminifera. Oh my gosh, foraminifera. And you can find them too. They're all over the place. These are from Montana that I just showed you. Theo sent me those, and Theo was good enough to have prepped those Steinkerns out of the death plate. And so they're partially in matrix, and so when they came out, they would be Steinkerned out because they didn't have any shell around them. But you can look for these things too. It just depends on what formations are near you. And that's clear down to those micro shells that I was showing you under the microscope last time, because they're basically everywhere there was any kind of an inland sea. And so that's what I think is pretty exciting, is that I'm looking for the forums in the Montana rocks as well as mine. And we'll find the same ones, you know. And I think that that's fascinating. And Morny, Mam Lambo, and I were talking, and we were finding the same forums as well. We have actually our fossil records that he's finding those crabs and penguins in, uh, actually is from about the same time period. And so some of the same forums are here as they are there. And actually, I was at my local science library over at the OSU Hatfield Marine Science Center. And sure enough, I found a forum paper, a white paper that was for New Zealand. And they had it there because it was the same as what we had. I mean, that's how cool it is that like the world, immersed in water shares so much. It's neat, the history and the record therein, if you want to nerd out in that particular direction.
so many directions to do that.
Right? um, and so and Silverback is talking about it's just all the material that has fallen to the forest floor that then goes through the petrification process as well. And so it's interesting. Yeah, you've got kind of the same thing with wood, and you can there's like just such an amazing amount of fossil history if you're just looking for them. And Allison was just talking about totally finding those there as well. And Allison is also in Montana, just shy of the Canadian border. And
I think
so,
I saw it was somebody was telling a guy named Mike who's never seen petrified wood before.
oh my gosh.
How wood petrifies.
Wow. I
Wow.
mean, that's exciting though. I mean, can you imagine like how much fun is
Here's some.
that to yeah. Well, I just so happen to also have some right here. Let's do this really quick. And this petrified wood actually getting burned out by my light is local Oregon wood, but this like glows really nice, and that's very, very nice, Ken. Another piece here that these are self-collected. This one was from Central Oregon, glowing very, very nicely under the UV. And so having some wonderful, fun mineralization included. And so let's see where to go from here. Ken, do you have
Well,
some more?
I would do one real quick. I went up and grabbed it while you were in your little slideshow just so people could see. This is the brachiopod death plate that Jeff brought me.
Thanks for grabbing that. I mean, that is amazing.
Hey, look at the size of it.
Yeah, huge.
It's 13 inches, I think, give or take. And then a
Yeah.
bunch of these types that are just absolutely amazing. And they look so cool in the UV. It just looks so cool. And this
Yeah.
is nice and river pepper. It fit perfectly on a little plate stand, and it's up on the shelf, and there it goes. Yeah. They're just beautiful little specimens. I love them.
Nice.
All right.
Everybody's like on the hard tangent into Coffeeville over there
I
in the
see
chat.
that. It's just coffee, coffee, coffee. I'm
Yeah.
there with it.
I love it.
All right.
And so Jeff is asking about seeing the pics that were in Discord. That's where I saw what
Yep.
you were sharing, I believe, and that in your videos. And so if you want to see more about that, go to hit the J&V Rock Hounding, not only on our Discord, but also over there on the YouTube. So over here on the YouTubes, this is where we are. Karen.
Two of the Ubes.
Yeah. that is what we're doing. And that is absolutely amazing, Lisa, don't you think?
There's,
Yeah. Oh, poor Manny is having opal and death plate envy.
poor
Where else do
guy.
you get to see death plate envy?
I'm just not going to go down that tangent.
It's like not a thing anywhere else, right?
Hannibal Lecter's fine dining.
Totally, right? And so actually, let's see. I can do
Nice, Jeff.
a little share here. This is that plate. Since we're talking about plates, hello. And it is dark because I had the black light on it. Let's shed some light on it. We're going to boost you guys out. We're going to put the auto exposure. And there it is. That's the thing that we were looking at in our slideshow. And the thing that's actually being highlighted by my little exposure box is some of the mineralization that was doing the super fun glowing in the black light, in the UV light. And so since we were talking about death plates and death plate envy, you can kind of see here what Theo had sent me. And it's just, it never ceases to amaze me what we find in places like Wyoming and Montana, where you just expect it's going to be a prairie or a mountain state. And yet we had all of these inland seas. And here's another little guy over here. And there was some really wonderful UV stuff going on with it. And then if we continue on over here, this is like a huge patch of what looks like nothing to y'all. But if you look at the exact center of the picture right now, we either have another shell or we have a forum. And so that actually, let me zoom in for you guys. That was like the big shot. But see that? And again, like that might not be something that might thrill just everybody. Because, what do we like it's not a big, sexy opal Steinkern cast. But what we are looking at potentially, and it looks like it even, more and more as I zoom in to it, that has like the shape so much. A lot of them are flying saucers. They're these one celled organisms, or just slightly more complex than that uh, have a silicate body wall. And so they're basically crystal creatures, and they live in the fossil record for us, that we can go back and find out so much about the biome if certain species are available and other ones aren't. And so, I mean, it's just an incredible fossil record at the micro level. And yeah, I'm pretty sure we're looking at one zoomed in right there. Nice little flying saucer spherical one. And again, I go to our science center and I try to find all of the different references for the things that we might have. Like, you can see how little that guy is now. Now that I zoom out, like this is still at a magnification of at least like five to 10, you guys. And so um, it's important to be, I don't know, paying attention to who's available on the small hand. And so again, we have the a little fossil shell there. These are probably like what Ken was talking about, little fossil shells that are like a bivalve, maybe, as far as that body goes. I don't know if we looked at that guy, but we've got this guy over here on the corner. But and this one's a really actually a nice one. That whatever sediment was filling in that one was shiny. Do you find that to be something that you see, Ken? Is where, like in a death plate, that you find different sediments that congeal?
Here it's all sand, and it's
Sand.
just, and then it replaces with calcite a little bit or totally, but it's just that white with the black flecks through it, sand or calcite, and that's all pretty much I ever see down here.
Uh-huh. You give it a tweak with the exposure there so you guys
It's
aren't
cool.
getting washed out. And so here's like somebody's body coming out. This is a beautiful spiral shell here. I'll bring some things in and out of focus. Actually, that's too high for me to focus on at that magnification, but you can see it there. Here's a little guy over here. Here's a little guy over there. So what's interesting about this death plate, and I guess I could pose this as a question first, but and you can see these two are together. And so, we've gone all the way around the death plate at this point. What happened in history that the shells in the death plate don't have any nacre? There are Steinkerns already.
Some shells don't have nacre.
No shell though.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. Like some of them, a few of them do. Like that either
Yeah.
is like the calcite mineralization that just is filled in a void, or kind of like the shell that Ken showed you that I had sent him, had areas where the shell was still there, but it had been worn off of other areas. What I find fascinating about this is that, like, we're looking at a bunch of Steinkerns, with most of the shells having already lost, the fossils having lost their shells, which
An
is
acidic environment will take those shells away.
very cool. Yeah. And so when we find them on our beaches, sometimes it's because they're so old that they've been rolled around and just have lost their shells, and they came out of their concretions, they lost their shells, and they're just rolling around. What happens if these guys had been so much older and then had been rolling around on a beach, having come out of their concretions, just like my beach that I love to haunt? I find these all the time, and then they re-entered another death plate,
That would be so cool.
right? And then that would throw off a bunch of, like, we use stratification for our historical reference for, like, the time frames on things. It would totally throw off the entire time frame if we have a bunch of Steinkerns left over from another whole era that got compacted again just because they were hanging out on the beach, which would totally happen if like one of my favorite beaches got compacted right now under a bunch of ash, which could happen at any time in Oregon. This would be like a part of the fossil record. A good washout on one of my beaches would look just like this.
Yeah, that's
So
cool to think about.
yeah, I don't know. That's where my head went when I was, letting it wander while I literally can spend hours looking at this stuff, right? And so it's difficult. Oh.
Manny just asked a good question. Are death plates an inland sea event? More shallow sea. Doesn't have to be inland, I would think.
That's a great answer, Ken. And a very, very good question. Let's go ahead and put that bad boy up here. And he looks like he's contemplating it right there in his avatar. Yeah. He's doing the thinker. So we've got death plates here, and we're at the coast. So I think, and they could be in the reefs, clear at the bottom of the Mariana Trench, right? I mean, the death plates could be all over the place. And
Yeah.
I actually have somebody that I can ask about that. I know a very cool girl that deals with the cores that come off of the NOAA boats that they're pulling from that trench, and so I will ask her.
Nice.
Yeah. So, but that's a super good question, and yeah, they are all over the country. So the ones that Jeff found were. Do you happen to know, Ken, what?
Ohio.
So Ohio, and we're talking about, that's super old, like like 300 million, maybe like
Something
200.
like that. Yeah, they're before dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Long before dinosaurs.
So, and Mike is saying that this is an emoji rock, right?
That's the oh my gosh.
Oh
It's an Omar.
no. Sorry.
Omar, my gosh.
Yeah, or
And
or that was the Mr. Bill.
yeah.
Mike's
Oh no,
material
Mr.
also.
Bill.
Yeah.
And I put that up there because I got permission and I am on this channel gonna do a giveaway. Surprise!
Oh, that's right. All y'all that are
Yep.
hanging out here, hanging on for this wonderful Friday night party. Ken is doing a super generous thing and doing a giveaway. Go ahead and take it away, Ken.
Well, like and comment on this video. You don't have to be here right now. If you're watching this sometime between now and next Friday, just like and comment on this video, and you're entered to win. Don't know how we'll figure out who wins, but we'll figure it out.
And so
You're going to get this Omar.
Omar is going to be your pet rock. I
It
love it.
is.
That's so
And
cool.
from tonight's show, we saw the one little bivalve there and those two little Steinkerns. Those are going to be coming along.
Oh my gosh, you guys, that's killer.
These are some of the ones that I've pulled out in the past. I'm going to send those. There's two lightning whelks, an olive, a common whelk, little piece of fossilized coral, and I'll label everything. Spiral Babylon, UV cone, and a tulip shell, and I'll probably throw a couple more in, but those are right there. So I go
And
really
those are
good
all
ones.
fossils, to be clear, right?
Yeah, those are all fossils, and they all react with UV light.
Look at that. Look
I
at
kind of
that
blew,
beautiful
kind
light
of
show.
cleared
That
them
could
out
be
a little bit
yours.
there, but those are going to go. And this little pile of fossil bone off Minnesota Beach.
But wait, there's more.
There's more. And this bag of shark teeth.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm going
That's
to
so generous.
get a small flat rate box, put those in it, and whatever room's left, I'll put some more shells or some tumbled stones that I've done or something along that line. So like this video, comment on this video. Next week, we'll find out which one of you guys wins it.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Ken. That's beyond so generous. Those are the instructions. So, comment, and that way we'll know who you are. We'll, put your name in jar or do whatever, and we'll go ahead and draw a winner. And that should happen probably next Friday. I think that would be the right scheduling for the live stream, and that would be March 1st. And so if you're in the future, you'll know whether or not you need to be commenting on this. Well, comment anyway, but whether or not you're going to be able to win this bad boy.
I just realized, must be in the United States. I'm sorry. I can't
Oh
send it to
yeah.
Australia. Let's get
Yeah,
that out
that's
there right now.
probably good. And
I saw
New
Manny. I'm like, oh
Zealand.
no.
Yeah, right. New Zealand rockhound too. Yeah, and
Yeah.
the rocks down under. And he was just saying that thanks to us, he's kept his prep rubbish to look for the forums. Not sure if I want to go down that rabbit trail though. And oh my gosh, you totally do though. I would love so much to be in New Zealand checking out the forums there too. The white paper I was referring to, the library was getting rid of it. And so they're like, yeah, you want this? And I was just like, yeah, they have it overstock. They're a smaller library. And they're like, oh my gosh, if you want it, you can have it. And I was like, oh my gosh. And so I can help you. If that's not the worst bit of enablement. So New Zealand, if you want to get into it, do it. And if you have questions, I've got a paper for you. And so, yeah, everybody's going super cool. Ken, like Afia Raka and Silverback and Cynthia and Rocky Mountain Bear. And Jeff was talking about can't wait to hit that coral he found yesterday with the UV. I'll bet. Cheryl's all excited. Ooh. And Brian too, shark teeth with an exclamation point. And so, yeah, so everybody's really excited about, what you've got your mission if you want to accept it. And oh my gosh, here's Rocky's like, was that a snaggletooth shark you sent Jethro in his bag?
It was. Again, I sent him a snaggletooth shark tooth. I didn't realize it. They're just in my jar. I poured some out in the jar, and when he was doing his show and tell, he just poured like a dozen or so into his hand, and there was a snaggletooth sitting right there. I
Wow.
made sure to point that out. That's a snaggletooth. Those are rare.
That's really good.
Yep. Didn't know it was in there.
Awesome.
Would have left it if I'd known, but I didn't know it was there. But yeah, it still would have gone anyways. But yeah, that's a
Oh,
snaggletooth.
that's so nice. Yeah, and actually he did he spelled it tooth. So it's officially snaggle tooth, apparently.
Right.
As
I'm
the
seeing
right pronunciation.
someone saying they'll pay the shipping if they win overseas. I'd be I don't know how we'd figure it out, but I'd be good with that. Put your name in there. We'll figure it out.
Mike, that's yeah. Okay, so I guess that's a thing. And so if you want to make the comment here to enter, and perhaps if you're willing to take care of shipping, that is so sweet. Then go ahead and put that in the comment and you guys can work it out. I think that would be a good thing.
Yeah. Make sure you know these comments that you guys are typing right now. That's not it. You're going to have to comment on this video after this live stream ends. You're going to have to come back and that's where your comment is.
Yeah, because sorting through the chat is like going through the forums in a rock. Like there's so many. And yeah, that's not going to be the thing. And so yeah, definitely leave a comment down below. And so not in the chat, but down below. And that also makes it so that the people that see it afterwards can go ahead and take part in this as well. And let's see. Nice. Okay, Sierra Hounder, welcome to the chat. Thank you. Liked and commented an OMG. So Sierra's totally in for it. Yeah, that's super awesome. And
whatever else I can get in
Theo's
a small flat rate, well, I can't stand empty space in a box.
Theo napped Kyle an obsidian megalodon tooth. Dude, you're a crazy man. And that Kyle's a lucky guy. So good. And here, this is to you. By the way, Mr. Ken, here's something you'll appreciate. I won 2 Roger Dean auctions, one for a 1975 in excellent condition book of views and a 1972 Yes Fragile and Yes Songs music book. Ooh, wow. And then it's from and he probably ran out of words that he was allowed to put in a chat,
but he put
very
2
cool.
more in later on. Music catalog.
Yeah, that was the conversation from last week that like I saw in the chat after when I was reviewing, and I was like, "Oh yeah, totally." I know that you guys were talking about that, but I think it was the UV coral landscape looking like the art from the albums. Something like that. Yeah, spots saying 200 characters is the limit for bad storytelling. Thank you, Spot.
It is.
And Jackie's saying to Theo that she would still like to see a faceted LSA. The agates are weird, Jackie, for faceting. They're nice and hard, so they'd facet up just fine. But there's not a whole lot of light play that can happen inside. So a lot of people don't facet the agates because of that. You don't get like the fun. They're usually not clear enough because of their cryptocrystalline situation and their fortification situation as well. Chalcedony, maybe, but yeah, they'd like the best I think that they could do would be maybe like a rose cut where you have facets on the top just to make it look pretty, but there's not going to be a whole lot of play inside. And so that's probably just why it hasn't happened. That does remind me. I'm just going to throw this up really quick. That's the sunstone, or rather that's the fire opal that was given to me by Jules Tools, that was bought from Kyle at one of his live sales, because a lot of people do that. They'll gift you a little parcel or whatever, a stone here and there. Very, very generous group in there. Everybody's always giving each other rocks. And so somebody gifted me this parcel, and I was like, kind of a little put off to do the faceting because Theo had really had an arm wrestle with a fire opal in the past. And I was like, I don't know, I'm a little intimidated. But those guys were coming on the show and I was like, gotta get down on it. And so this guy is the thing that happened, and that is the trillion cut called Triopic Blast. And it turned out like pretty. I love the material now, and I didn't have any problems other than the fact that it liberated itself from the dop. When I was finishing the pavilion before I got to the crown, it just decided to pop off the dop, but I was able to reorient it because it's a simple shape. And it's just, those things are so incredible. They like, it's got nothing to do with the artist. It's all about the stone. So I just wanted to share that for anybody who hadn't had a chance to see the opal. And it's been a really, really good time working with those. I know that I'm gonna need to get another one, another parcel very soon. And then Theo's talking about, yeah, he's had good luck with chalcedony and mossy agates like Indian green tree look great faceted, but yeah, they have to be super clear. And that's where you run into like any of an agate, like part of what makes a bird is that it has feathers. Well, agates are supposed to have fortification lines in them to make them agates. And because of those lines, you've got a total breakup of the light source for a facet. And so that's kind of like where you kind of wonder like why you're doing it. Because it is so much work to make one. And agates tend to have a lot of fractures, says Cheryl.
Yeah.
That can be true. Um, and so Theo's also saying that usually a more simple shape like an emerald or a baguette. And yeah, like I said, if you want to make it pretty, you can definitely facet the top and leave the back flat because you don't need the light source because it's probably not gonna backlight from angles. Like you can make it backless in like a necklace and you can see through it. That would be fine, but it's not going to necessarily benefit from the angles that like a pavilion would make. And so you call that a rose cut. Um, and I'm just going through these really quick. Would one call that color peach? You know what's really crazy, John, about the colors on the 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 fire opals is that, and then he's like, or honey, dependent on the light that you are even taking pictures of the opal, it's a different creature. Like this almost is like yellow, but there's almost a little bit of green in there. And then it tinges over, of course, towards the orange side. When I was faceting it, it had a ton of red in it. And so it's an opal. It's a light bender. It's a mineraloid. The light is
Amazing.
like getting in there and doing funky things. And so, in some lighting, it's a deep, almost, red orange. And then, because I was lighting it up to take some the video, and because of what the camera was seeing with its eyes and pixels, it turned out super like sunny yellowish. And that wasn't even really what I was seeing. And it wasn't like I
That's got to
could
be
color
neat.
correct it. Yeah. I mean, it's an opal, so it's just it holds all bunch of different things of the spectrum inside it. And it, even the angle that you're looking at the light kind of changes what you're seeing. And I think that that's what made me fall in love over the last 48 hours. Because I had not done a fire opal before taking this one on. Like I said, I was a little daunted, and I got this gift parcel, and I was like, I could play with it. This is good. Like a few of the stones were good facet rough. I'll get around to it. And then these guys were coming on the show. I'm like, I got to do it now. And I'm like, I'm hearing the angels singing in the background, like, oh, it's like looking so good on the dop as I'm going along. I just couldn't wait to see the finished gem. And so, yeah, it's amazing. Maybe nectarine. Yeah, it's all those things. It's all those fruits. It's all those tasty things. Honey and sunshine, definitely. And then like a little bit of lime around the edges, like it turned green in some of the light, like especially when it was direct sunlight that was taken under an LED. Um, at night against a white background. I mean, so yeah, it totally depends on what kind of light it's getting. Sunburst,
Sure.
yeah.
I remember when the first time I got a LED light and took it into the underground to try to find rock. I had it on for like 5 minutes. This is not going to work. And brought it back out and went back to the car and got my big old flashlights and said, nah, never mind the nice light, not heavy as in light. Yeah, that was horrible.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Sandmaker's like, it's yellow. Yeah, like, very simple. But yeah, I mean, it's neat stuff. And let's see. Oh my gosh, Theo just like wrote a big, huge thing here. What is he saying? Like Sweetwater agate is a famous Wyoming agate that is prized for its quality. It's dendritic and has no banding. Not technically an agate, but they are still they still referred to unanimously as an agate. Totally. Like, there's a lot of agate that doesn't seem like it fits the description, and there's a lot of chalcedony that feels like it doesn't fit the description, but it's because of its silicate content, like the stuff that comes from gem fields. That's chalcedony. And yet, like, if I were to stub my toe on one of them incredibly cool Neapolitan ice cream gorgeous rocks that come out of there, I would say jasper. It cleaves and looks like jasper. It's opaque.
I just got 5.5 pounds called Wind River agate out of Washington, and some of it looks just like jasper.
Yeah.
And it's gorgeous. Oh,
Yeah.
so pretty.
Yeah, it's not like, because of the name, what's the Shakespeare quote? Like, a rose by any other name? It's pretty stuff. But yeah, like, sometimes you do wonder, like, is this a misnomer? Is it like because the people named it this, or whomever the claim owner named it this and didn't know, or is it because it's silicate and somebody ran a test on it and decided that it was what it is?
Yep. No idea with that. Pretty though.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. All right. And so thanks you guys for sticking around, and thank you so much, Ken, for not only coming on the live stream but also for offering up this awesome giveaway. And so one more time to recap what you're doing, go ahead and let them know.
Like the video, comment on the video, we will send you some rocks. We'll figure out where you live and get them on the way to you. If you're overseas and want to pay for shipping, we'll do it. But other than that, I can't send to even Canada. It just gets too pricey. But yeah, win some rocks. Like the video.
Yeah. And those predominantly Florida fossils.
Yep.
So yeah, stop not liking.
Sorry, yeah. I keep saying rocks. It's a lot of fossils, and there will be some rocks in there. I don't think I showed any at all, except for there's the one Omar.
Yeah. So
that's a rock. There we go.
All right. And so as far as the community goes, tomorrow, Kyle's live stream sales, we'll see you over there. I've got the short dropping about this here beautiful opal, the fire opal. If you didn't have a chance to go see the Rockhound podcast that dropped this evening, Friday night, about Outlaw Rocks, go check that out. I also have a fossil video coming up that includes the Fossil Fest that happened a little bit earlier in Newport, Oregon. All of the folks getting together with their killer fossils, like Kent, who has been on the Rockhound podcast, the king of the fossil bones around these parts in Central Coast, Oregon. And so these things are coming out. Of course, check out one of the thrills that I had over the week was not only discovering Outlaw Rock's videos, so check those out. Jeff had some really great videos. So the J&V rock hounding, go check those out. We saw some of his fossil plates with Ken. And Yep. Thank you. Of course, Kyle has something great. Jesse was planning on making a video. He got COVID, and so we have a Jesse video that is going to be fun to check out and live stream with Rufo, Rufotris, Rooted Rockhound, and also the live streams that are happening from Allison Prairie Girl Rocks. If I didn't mention you, you rock as well. We love you all. Thank you all for coming to the live stream. Theo, Allison, Kyle, John, Brian, Ken. Hey, Ken.
The other
You're
Ken.
in both places. Yeah. Randy, Jackie, Lisa, Jenny, all you all that have been hanging out. Victoria joined us, Papa's Gems, Sierra Rockhounder. We had Bob in the house. Everybody, you guys know who you are. Cheers to you, Steinkern. Hopefully you guys stayed good and hydrated this evening with the Steinkern special show. Like I said, thank you, Ken, for coming. And we will, we will see you on the next live stream or the podcast or wherever we see you in the chat. Thanks so much. Have a great weekend.